2 days, unless then you will hear. Congratulations, you're in the glory of God. Congratulations, He has done it for you, and you will come back with a new song to sing.
Almighty God, ruler and sustainer of all things in heaven and on earth, behold and bless the Zimbabwe Open University, that the men and women you have called upon to lead this institution may be guided by you. Open the door of your wisdom to the men and women engaged in the search for true knowledge to save your people. May your light lead them to you, the only source of all truth. Grant them sufficient grace as they seek to achieve their goal of empowerment through open learning. Pour your heavenly benediction upon those who teach and those who learn. Instill in them a spirit of wisdom and understanding, dedication and commitment, purpose and vision, so that they may faithfully promote the common welfare of your people in the various capacities of their callings. To you, God the Creator, be praise and honor now and forever. Amen.
Hello and a very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining us at this, of course, at the graduation ceremony happening at the Zimbabwe Open University. Well, not at the Zimbabwe University, at the Harare International Conference Center in line with the Zimbabwe Open University, and of course acknowledging their theme of Towards a Vision 2030, Human Capital Development and Innovation through Education 5.0, enabling open distant learning and engagement to take place. Quite a few of the graduates have made their way here to the Harare International Conference Center, and as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, we will not be able to, of course, as per normal, have the full engagement, but we do have quite a few of the representatives are making their way here, most notably also acknowledging that there will be a virtual engagement that will be taking place during the course of the proceedings. However, it is important to also note that as it is the 19th Zimbabwe Open University, a blended graduation ceremony, a total of 1,368 graduates, that being 631 males, 737 females are graduating. Of these, 895, that being 426 males and 469 females graduating with undergraduate degrees. Now, while 236 graduates, 116 males, 120 males, they are graduating with a master's degrees. And as you can hear in the background, His Excellency having officially opened up the graduation ceremony as the Chancellor of the universities in Zimbabwe. But once again, going back to quite a few of the graduates, as an institution of higher learning, they have ensured that, and are delighted rather to add, that out of the 9 graduates who came in for Doctors of Philosophy degrees, 4 of those were females and 5 of those were males. And also extending further from there, 1 female will be graduating with a Master of a Philosophy degree. But to help me unpack and appreciate a bit more about the Zimbabwe Zimbabwe Open University. I'm joined by the Corporate Communications and Marketing Manager, Mr. Mwandi Wanza. Thank you so much for joining us here, Mwandi Wanza.
Thank you, Farah.
If you could briefly share with us, of course, the significance. This is the 19th graduation ceremony taking place under COVID-19 conditions. But more importantly, we are celebrating those who have managed to surpass the challenges. A brief appreciation on your part.
Exactly. Thank you, Farah. Like you rightly said, the theme for the graduation today is towards Vision 2030, Human Capital Development and Innovation through Education 5.0, enabled by open and distance electronic learning. A brief history of Zimbabwe Open University.
Right. On that particular note, they're going to hold you off, but we will be back to discuss a bit more. We'll be crossing over to the live proceedings.
Thank you.
Mayor of Harare, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Professor Fanuel Tagwira, Chief Executive Officer, Zimbabwe Council for Higher Education, represented here by Professor Chiresha, the Acting Chairperson of Zimbabwe Open University Council, Mr. Nduna, Vice Chancellors here present, and representatives of Vice Chancellors here present. Zimbabwe Open University Pro Vice Chancellors here present, Professor Mugabe and Professor Nyakatawa. The Zimbabwe Open University Executive Management members here present and their spouses. Zimbabwe Open University Senators. The President of Zimbabwe Open University Students Representative Council, Mr. Sibanda and team. Directors, Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development. Captains of business, industry, and community organizations here present. The Zimbabwe Open University community, distinguished guests, and I will not forget my wife, Ellen, who is present, acknowledged. ZOU 2021 graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency and Chancellor, may I start on a somber note in accordance with our African cultural values. Allow me to preface my address by making bereavement announcements, as we lost members of the ZOU community during the year. And as ZOU community, and indeed the nation at large, we were deeply saddened by the untimely passing of our colleagues, who include Mr. Ishmael Vingirai, a lecturer in marketing, who passed on the 13th of January 21, and he used to be based at the Harare Chitungwiza Regional Campus. Mr. Augustine Kudakwashe Mbika was a lecturer in educational management based in Chinoi and passed on the 23rd of February 2021. Mr. Richard Ngwarai was a lecturer in special needs education. He passed on the 17th of May, and he was based at Masvingo Regional Campus. Mr. Kenneth Saruchera, you may remember him very well, Your Excellency. He was Regional Director, Manicaland Region, and a senior member in the ZANU-PF party in Manicaland Region, and he passed on the 16th of June 2021. He was subsequently declared a Liberation War hero. He was both a founder member of ZOU and the inaugural director for Manicaland Regional Campus. We also lost Professor Kakson Henry Matarira, who was Associate Professor in the Department of Geography and Environmental Studies in the Faculty of Science. He also passed away on the 26th of July 2021. On the side of students, we lost 13 students. I'll just mention their names. Truth Hamadziripi, Lucy Golowa, Toson Stewart, Cephas Makwea, Delight Joan Mapisa, Tom Nyirenda, Upton Guta, Rumbidzai Marabwa, Gwengwe, Shelley Nleya, Tinotenda Mashamba, Tendai Guyambira, and Isabel Auxilium Karakate. Your Excellency and Chancellor, I kindly request you and the whole congregation gathered here to honor these colleagues who passed away by observing a minute of silence. Thank you. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Thank you, Your Excellency and Chancellor. Your Excellency and Chancellor, our theme for this year's graduation reads as follows: Towards Vision 2030, Human Capital Development and Innovation through Education 5.0, enabled by Open Distance Electronic Learning, or DEL, as we call it. This is a befitting theme because we are mindful of the overarching goal of ensuring a high, accelerated, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, as well as socio-economic transformation and development as espoused in the National Development Strategy 1, 2021 to 2025. Both Council and management are appreciative of the importance and value that your government accords to the development and capacitation of key national institutions, which include universities, to create an enabling environment critical for economic development. So I have a few issues that I will touch in my address. First is teaching and learning in the university. For over a century, distance education institutions like ZOE thrived on the utility of physical space and contact between the student and the educator. COVID-19 forced ZOE to intensify the substitution of the model is the teacher philosophy. We substituted it with e-facilitation, electronic facilitation. In the process, we have faced a myriad of challenges pertaining to lack of access, cost of ICT technologies and gadgets, which in turn, ipso facto, affect the quality of learning and teaching as well as the graduate that we churn out. In an article entitled Breaking Higher Education's Iron Triangle, and this triangle consists of three factors. First is access, second is cost, and the third is quality. Daniel Kanwa and Yuvalik Tambo argue that, and I quote, the requirements for a model that could allow higher education to expand rapidly in the developed world are that it be readily scalable. It should be readily scalable, which means that there should be provision of wide access. And it should be academically credible, which addresses high quality. And thirdly, it should be affordable, which means that we should have low-cost delivery systems. Many believe that ZOE has successfully addressed the question of access by virtue of being an open and distance learning university, which, and I quote, provides access to the wider student population now seeking higher education, especially to working adults and those in the remote rural areas, end of quote. Furthermore, the ZOE Charter, statutes, and teaching and learning policies provide for the admission of students with the minimum of O-level passes. We also provide recognition of prior learning, and we also provide for academic bridging as a way of promoting access and inclusivity. Despite these progressive policies, Your Excellency and Chancellor, in this digital era in which we live, learn, and teach, access has once again reared its ugly head. Most of our learners are what we can describe today as digital natives. Some call them the Google generation. Others call them the techno wizards. According to Prensky, Our students, and I quote, have spent their entire lives surrounded by and using computers, video games, cell phones, and all the other toys and tools of the digital age. Computer games, emails and internet, cell phones and instant messaging are integral parts of their lives, end of quote. And this is the generation that we are dealing with in this day and age, not the previous generation of the 90s and early 2000s, which focused on career advancement when they were already of middle age. We now have a much younger generation. No doubt, there is an unmistakable shift between the concept of access as understood in the 1980s and 90s and early 2000s and the digital era that defines us today. Many dedicated students are being left out because of prohibitive cost of learning devices such as computers, laptops, iPads, and smartphones that can download volumes and volumes of learning materials. This is compounded by the fact that data has become too expensive for the average student. These factors, Your Excellency, limit the quality of learning and teaching, and indeed of the graduates that we produce. Many prospective students and others who are already enrolled for study are being left behind thanks to digitization. And yet our policy and your policy, Your Excellency, is not to leave anyone behind. In my view, a tax exemption policy on educational gadgets is long overdue. So is the zero rating of educational websites. Considering that the COVID-19 continues to mutate, and now we have Omicron, and that we aspire to be a knowledge society, an endeavor between government, business, and the academy is long overdue to address the question of access to or online learning and the attendant cost of educational technologies and gadgets. Digital access is a nationwide problem that transcends ZOE, but it is an imperative for a system, an education system that delivers quality. As we confidently march towards attaining an upper middle class economy by 2030, thanks to your vision, which has been so aptly articulated in the NDSI-1, it bears emphasizing that successful and sustainable e-facilitation and online learning or remote learning and teaching, as well as online learning and teaching, will largely depend on our ability as a nation to have a national digital framework that deliberately eschews digital inequality and promotes access for all. On this note, let me hasten to thank you, Your Excellency and Chancellor, and your government for providing public sector investment program funding for ICT infrastructure in the higher and tertiary education sector. So you have already started moving towards this access that I'm talking about. And on behalf of ZOE Council, management, staff, and students, I would like to acknowledge receipts of 26 million for the upgrade of IC infrastructure. The funding, Your Excellency, this funding has gone a long way towards upgrading our infrastructure, which had become obsolete. I now move on to research and innovation. Your Excellency and Chancellor, following the successful restructuring of the research domain in ZOE, in line with the ZIMCHE staff and skills audit, which was carried out in 2019, I'm pleased to report that ZOE is back on an even keel. Most pleasing is the fact that in the latter half of the year, the Research Board resumed the funding of research projects after a 3-year hiatus. Successful research projects funded to the tune of 15 million feed into this innovation trajectory that the university wishes to see. The research projects are designed in ways that attempt to proffer solutions to ongoing socio-economic challenges bedeviling our country. To give you a good example, a good picture of what I'm saying, let me just sample a few topics from the list of such funded projects. We have topics that cover designing of a low-cost artificial intelligence-based solar-powered incubator, climate change integrated biodiversity conservation in the Zambezi Valley, goat management using electronic identification, domestication of indigenous mushrooms, among others. Your Excellency and Chancellor, I'm pleased to report that ZOE enjoys collegiality and recognition by universities and research institutions and associations globally. To this end, ZOE's Faculty of Arts, Culture and Heritage Studies successfully hosted a virtual international conference from the 26th to the 28th of August 2021 under the theme African and African Diaspora Philosophy, Identity and Culture. Collaboration with the Pan-African Strategic and Policy Research Group International, the University of West Indies, and Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria. Let me say that the projects that I've indicated here clearly show that we are on a trajectory towards being an innovative university which in due course will produce patterns and trademarks which we hope the industry will embrace. We are on course. Let me move on to community service and outreach. Your Excellency and Chancellor, I firmly believe that a university, more so an open distance e-learning university such as ZOE, should always be at the beck and call of communities contiguous with it. It is this conviction that spurred us as the administration at ZOE to enter into a partnership with the Angel of Hope Foundation, spearheaded by the First Lady Amai Auxilium Mnangagwa. ZOE aims to religiously abide by our vision of, and I quote, empowering through open learning by serving communities around us. Your Excellency and Chancellor, in your comments in the guest book at last year's graduation, you wrote, and I quote, the Zimbabwe Open University is open to the entire national population. It has the task to add value to both life and skills competencies in the working population of our beloved Zimbabwe. End of quote. True to form, the partnership with the First Lady's Angel of Hope Foundation has added gravitas and glamour to the ZOE brand and provided added impetus to community service and outreach. The Epworth Short Learning Program is geared towards mitigating social and gender inequalities, thus meeting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 10, and the promotion of sustainable communities, SDG 11. In collaboration and disabled men in Epworth, the flagship pilot project which we launched saw over 800 students who passed through this program completing short courses in the following disciplines: crop and animal science, counseling, sign language and disability awareness, nurse aid training and palliative care, early childhood development, ECD, that is, entrepreneurship and business management. The partnership has proved to be an unprecedented flagship community project whose short courses have proved to not only be groundbreaking, but a game changer in terms of the role of the university in social transformation. On behalf of the ZOE Council, management and staff, I kindly request you, sir, to convey our deepest gratitude to our beloved First Lady for her ingenious and innovative social empowerment program and philanthropy, whose visible fruits are there for anyone and everyone to see. It is patently clear that the ZOE Angel of Hope partnership has phenomenal potential towards human capital development. Musewe defines human capital development as, and I quote, processes that relate to training, education, and other human capacity building initiatives in order to increase the level of knowledge, skills, abilities, values, and social assets of the citizens, end of quote. The project has received support and endorsement from Potras and the Zimpost. With this kind of support, Your Excellency and Chancellor, I have no doubt that collaboration based on what I call a quadruple helix approach, where the academy, government, business, and indeed civil society play their role towards social transformation. This partnership will become a potent instrument through which we can mobilize our compatriots towards the attainment of an upper middle class society by 2030. We are moving there. Apart from the ZOE Angel of Hope partnership, Your Excellency and Chancellor, we also have long-standing partnerships with the following institutions, just to mention a few: the University of Zambia, IPMZ, City of Harare, ISED in Mozambique, and ARIPO, among others. Allow me to move on to COVID-related matters and how we have dealt with it as ZOE. Your Excellency and Chancellor, the 24th of March 2021 was historic, not only because you officially launched phase 2 of the COVID-19 national vaccination program in the tourist resort of Victoria Falls, and not only because you received your first COVID jab then, but mainly because you demystified COVID vaccination hesitancy and denialism to the whole nation of Zimbabwe. And we want to thank you for that leadership. Following your example, on the 9th of April 2021, I had the opportunity to lead a delegation of 40 members from ZOE management to Wilkins Hospital, where we received our first COVID jab. The delegation consisted of ZOE senior members, staff, deans, chairpersons, unit directors, regional campus directors, and so forth and so on. And we also had the president of the SRC in tow. The ZOE Council and management concur with the World Health Organization call that no one is safe until everyone is safe. Management, with the approval from Council, made vaccination mandatory to all our employees. I'm happy to report that the COVID-19 vaccination program at ZOE has been a resounding success. By the 30th of November 2021, vaccination statistics were as follows: fully vaccinated, 88.1%. First jab only, 5.8%. Unvaccinated, 6.1%. The Human Resource Unit officials the Human Resource Unit official record hold that 30 staff members contracted COVID-19 throughout the university. Of these, 28 recovered, and sadly, 2 succumbed to the virus. May their souls rest in eternal peace. On infrastructure development, Your Excellency and Chancellor, management, council, and staff at ZOE are grateful for the public sector investment program funding of infrastructure projects such as I've already referred to ICT infrastructure. But apart from that, we also have teaching and learning block at Heathcliff campus, Matabeleland North Teaching and Learning project, which is almost complete, and we eagerly await further PSIP funding for the multipurpose hall at our Heathcliff campus. Council, management, staff, and students are very grateful for your unceasing funding support, without which ZOE would struggle to deliver its mandate of human capital development. Now, I move on, Your Chancellor and Excellency, to the students graduating today. Studying for a degree is like running a marathon. It requires focus, determination, resilience, diligence, and the skill of self-management. This year's crop, Your Excellency Chancellor, is unique because of a number of factors. They went through several disruptions in the form of lockdowns caused by COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic slowed down. It slowed them down in ways that defy description. Despite that, they persevered and have made it to the finishing line. They put their heart and soul into their studies. There is an isiNdebele saying that goes, "Ayikho inkomo yobuthongo, ayikho inkomo yobuthongo." Simply put, it means that prosperity is earned through determination and diligence. In the Johannesburg lingo, they say, "Walala wasala." That is a fact of life. Or we say, we the young of today are really open. Your Excellency and Chancellor, today's 1,367 graduates are mainly accounted for under those 7 faculties. Of these, 1,367 to be conferred with different degrees. We have 630 males and 737 females. Once again, Your Excellency and Chancellor, female graduates far outnumber their male counterparts. ZOE has invited 87 graduates, made up of 46 males and 41 females, to be physically capped at today's graduation. Among these, 2 males and 2 females are differently abled, and they are recognized for having overcome hurdles and challenges along the way. And the Gowns World sponsored their graduation regalia. We thank Gowns World for this sponsorship. It is most fulfilling to notice that you affirm the empowerment of women through open learning at ZOE. Again, at last year's graduation, Your Excellency and Chancellor, you commented that, and I quote, "I'm happy that the female students have dominated this particular graduation ceremony. Despite chores at home, our women citizens are more focused than their male counterparts." End of quote. Happily, female students have done it again this year. Your Excellency and Chancellor, the recipients of the Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa Chancellor's Award are Memory Gonyora and Bravinos Musaniwa. Memory is graduating with a Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors and is the overall best female student. On the other hand, Bravinos graduates with a Master's of Science in Peace, Leadership and Conflict Resolution and is the overall best male student. They each receive 1,000 US dollars and this is coming from His Excellency and Chancellor. Furthermore, they will be privileged to have a photograph taken with the Chancellor today. The Zoo Council, management, staff and students are elated by your generosity and magnanimity, as well as your acknowledgement and appreciation of excellence. Thank you, Your Excellency and Chancellor. Furthermore, contributing to an inclusive society through education and training has become part of ZO's NDA. This is evidenced by the following statistics. Mukumi Valela suffers from acute cerebral palsy and is graduating today with a postgraduate diploma in education from Bulawayo campus. Doreen Banda is wheelchair bound and is graduating with a Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors from Harare Regional Campus. Barbara Mapranga is a PhD graduate in the Faculty of Applied Social Sciences and she is visually impaired. Your Excellency and Chancellor, apart from the undergraduate students you will confer degrees on and who have successfully completed their studies, we have taught masters, research masters, and doctoral programs. 9 graduates will receive doctoral degrees. Last but not least, Your Excellency and Chancellor, let me say this is a very special graduation where you will have the honor and privilege to award an honorary doctorate posthumously to a previously unsung hero whom you personally know and whom your government has bestowed a national hero status early this year. The recipient is none other than the late Father Emmanuel Francis Ribeiro. As I end my address, Your Excellency and Chancellor, you may be wondering whether everything is honky-dory at ZOO. Not at all. We have a few challenges that include high staff turnout, especially in critical areas and critical skills such as ICT, engineering, and technologically inclined academic disciplines. The cost of data, which I've already mentioned, transport, electricity cost, these have taken a toll on our performance both as staff and students. But I'm glad and very pleased that our Chancellor, as our Chancellor and your government, and indeed our line ministry, under the leadership of Professor Dr. Murwira, are addressing structural issues and the policy framework to undergird a direction and trajectory for better delivery. We count on you success. In conclusion, despite the COVID-19 threat, as well as the socio-economic challenges that affected us during the year, I'm pleased by the fact that today we are here to celebrate excellence and success. Today is the day to reap the fruit of hard work, determination, tenacity, and achievement. Challenges were turned into opportunities. Your Excellency and Chancellor, we decided to put up a video presentation which you and your guests will have occasion to tour ZOE projects in the comfort of this graduation venue. As I end my address, allow me on behalf of the ZOE Council, management and staff to say to the ZOE graduating class of 2021, Amhlophe, Makorokoto, congratulations. Thank you, Your Excellency and Chancellor.
A special dedication to the man of many talents, a solid patriot, a compelling novelist, a prolific songwriter, a steadfast cleric, a timeless revolutionary. Father Emmanuel Francis Ribeiro Chimurenga Chefungwa vanokavire mhepo vanokohwa chamupupuri upenyu haudi kudengesera mhindo vamwe vachidengezera njere muti unozikamwa nemuchero muchimurenga chehondo yerusununguko yenyika yezimbabwe Father Ribeiro vakarwa chimurenga chepfungwa to the men nationalists living and departed, incarcerated freedom fighters, those gallant sons and daughters of the soil in acute distress, condemned to death. Baba Ribeiro was their spiritual and mental caterer, who became the only trusted prisoner's contact with the outside world, a veteran cadre of Chimurenga Chefungwa. Your Excellency and Chancellor, this man facilitated your removal from the death row for bombing the Rhodesian locomotive at then Port Victoria alongside Matthew Maloa, Victor Mlambo, James Lamini, members of the Crocodile Gang who were not so fortunate to escape the gallows. Father Ribeiro, Your Excellency and Chancellor, Chimurenga Chepfungwa chakatunidza mite barika remazita ehondo. Comrade Rico Dozo, Comrade Smart Tembo, Comrade Black Skumba, Comrade Ruga Chwende, Comrade Mbe, nhasi yangova iti. Kusaziva kuti kunobvigwa ini here events director kana kuti imwi vechimurenga Chepfungwa Emerson Tambudza. Father Ribeiro's commitment to the liberation struggle was unwavering. Pamwechete nana sister, the late Sister Aquina, late Comrade Movin Mahachi, late Sebru Tangwena. He was instrumental in the skipping of the border to Mozambique by the late comrades Robert Gabriel Mugabe, Edgar Zivanai Tekere. He assisted in the design of the national flag and the national anthem, a constant reminder to all of us Zimbabweans that we are one nation, we are one big surname, we are one people, we are one spirit, we are one vision, united by the unity of purpose in pursuit of the values which decorated his life. Chimurenga Chepfungwa, Thank you so for this befitting posthumous honorary Doctor of Philosophy in African Theology degree to be conferred to a deserving late son, gallant son of the soil, Father Emmanuel Francis Ribeiro. A reminder to all living sons and daughters of Zimbabwe kuti tave muchimurenga chepfungwa zvichibatsirwa nenhaka yatonderai ndakaitei muchadura uva ranumwe chivere patinorodzera njere dzedu. Your Excellency Chancellor, nesuwo vana baba serious ve-linguistic engineering nevose nhasava vamuchagashidza heti dzokurava tapinda muchimurenga chepfungwa shumo chingova ndiyo tinoda kuti vana vedu varidze ngoma nemitsonga yenyama kwete kuseva nechiutsi vamwe vachiseva nomuto. Saka zvava kuda chimurenga chepfungwa kwete tsika dzembudzi kupfugamira zhozhowa kana kufarisa zvekuda kusona manga kana kumupa bhuru nokumukwedzo nyanga dziripo hatidonhetse chiri muhapwa nekuda kuombera. Baba Ribeiro vakatisiyira chimurenga chepfungwa. Uyo ugu ndiwe mukuru, ndiwe wamasimba, ndiwe usina mugumo. Tarisai meso ese achazomuona achiuya achipane kumakore. Rumwe gwedzimbo dzakanyogwa nomushakabvu wedu Baba Ribeiro. May his dear soul rest in eternal peace. Dege.
Your Excellency and Chancellor, I have the honor to request that you confer certificates, diplomas, and degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to the candidates for these awards as approved by the University Council and Senate as listed in the graduation handbook.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby confer certificates, diplomas, and degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to the candidates for these awards as approved by the University Council and Senate, as listed in the graduation handbook.
Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you the family representative to receive the award of the Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa in African Theology posthumously on behalf of the late Father Emmanuel Francis Ribeiro.
Be the one. God said, make I tell you, say now you in 1 month, in 1 week, you will sing a new song. In 2 days, a lesser than you will hear. Congratulations, you're in the glory of God. Congratulations, He has done it for you, and you will come back with
Chancellor and Excellency, allow me to read the citation in honor of Father Emmanuel Francis Ribeiro. And this is by way of adducing in favor of the award of the Doctor of Philosophy in African Theology. Father Emmanuel Francis Ribeiro can best be described as a liberation theologian, as all that he pioneered and accomplished in his life was meant for the liberation of the African, specifically Zimbabwean people, from political, cultural, and mental colonialism. Born in Chivu in 1935, Father Emmanuel Ribeiro died on the 17th of June 2021. He was declared a national hero and was buried at the National Heroes Acre. He was educated at Kutama College and Gokomere Mission in the 1950s before he trained as a teacher at Gweru Teachers College. He then studied theology at Tishawa Seminary, culminating in his ordination as a Catholic priest in 1964. He would later proceed to study for a master's degree in music at the Bloomington College of Music in the United States of America. In his long life of service to humanity, Father Ribeiro held several offices. In all these offices, his service was influenced by the liberation theology, which underlines, in the words of liberation theologian Jon Sobrino, that God has a preferential option for the liberation of the poor and marginalized. Following his ordination in 1964, Father Ribeiro would go on to serve the church and society for over 50 years. He worked as a Catholic priest in Mondoro, Highfields in Harare, and from 1968 to 1983 as a prison chaplain at the Salisbury Central Prison, before becoming the chaplain general of the Zimbabwe prisons, military and police, between 1978 and 1983. It was during the period that Father Ribeiro met the many Zimbabwe's nationalists who were incarcerated at various prisons throughout the country. He was Assistant Chaplain General of Prisons at the time when His Excellency, President Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, and other members of the Crocodile Gang were in prison awaiting execution for acts of sabotage against the Rhodesian settler regime. At the time of his death, Father Ribeiro was the longest-serving Catholic priest in the Harare Archdiocese. Father Ribeiro, the freedom fighter, although he did not carry the gun during the War of Liberation, Father Ribeiro played key roles in the liberation of Zimbabwe, true to the description of him as a liberation theologian. Not only is he amongst the people who helped save President Mnangagwa from the hangman, he also sheltered the late former President Robert Mugabe and the late Mr. Innocent Nkala following their release as outlaw political prisoners in 1974 and 75. He then masterminded former President Mugabe and the late Mr. Edgar Tekere's escape to Mozambique. Father Ribeiro worked tirelessly and under the radar to promote the spirit of resistance and dedication to the full liberation of black people under a racist minority regime. Liberation theologians do not only seek the political liberation of their people and of the oppressed, They also advocate and work towards making sure that the poor are brought into the fullness of human flourishing and dignity. In this spirit, Father Ribeiro also played other active roles in nation building throughout his life. He was the head of the committee which penned Zimbabwe's national anthem and was part of the committee which designed Zimbabwe's national flag. He promoted writing in local languages and was elected the first chairperson of the Shona Ndebele Writers Association in 1967. That sought to promote the dignity of indigenous languages. In 2019, he was part of a group of religious leaders under the banner of National Elders Forum, NEF, that called for the removal and end of sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe ahead of the October 25 event, which was dedicated and declared by SADC as a day to protest against sanctions. His commitment to Zimbabwe was unquestionable and unwavering. Pride in one's language is at the center of human dignity. And indeed, freedom from mental slavery is characterized by, among others, a people's use of their own language. Father Ribeiro was one of the people who wrote novels in Chishona, his indigenous language. He wrote Shona epilogues for the Rhodesia Broadcasting Corporation, RBC, African Service, for 2 years. He also authored 3 Shona novels: Muchadura, 1967, Tonderai, 1969, Ndakaitei, 1985. Father Ribeiro's first 2 Shona novels, Muchadura and Tonderai, won prizes in competitions organized by the Rhodesia Literature Bureau. The most popular of these novels was Muchadura. The novel has been used as a set book in Shona literature in schools in Zimbabwe. When I was in Form 2, this was the set book in Shona. Father Ribeiro, the musician. Father Ribeiro was ordained as a Catholic priest when great changes were taking place in the Catholic Church. In 1965, the Second Vatican Council of the Roman Catholic Church was making various changes that allowed for the variations in liturgy, allowing for the first time the use of indigenous languages and indigenous songs and indigenous instruments in worship. This saw the liberation of the African Church from linguistics and liturgical domination, as it opened the way for the Africanization of the Roman Catholic Church. Father Ribeiro was a trailblazer in the true sense in the process. He was an avid and excellent music composer who composed over 17 church songs sung to the accompaniment of traditional musical instruments, such as ngoma nehosho. Some of his popular compositions include, among others, Gamuchirai Mambo Mupiro Uyu, Hallelujah, Munyika Dzose, Tauya nezvipo zvemupiro, Mambo Mwari wamasimba, Wayana ya Mwari, Mwari ngaarumbidzwe, among others. This was a time when indigenous musical instruments were anathematized within the church, the Roman Catholic Church of the time. And you can appreciate the contribution that he made. His approach to African culture was consistent with his commitment to African liberation. In conclusion, Your Excellency and Chancellor, in all his exploits, Father Ribeiro can be placed among the Liberation School of African Theology. He sought to have African Catholicism, that is, Catholic faith expressed in an African idiom. In this regard, he is one of the pioneering African Catholic liberation theologians in Zimbabwe and Africa as a whole. He laid the foundation for the quest to have a faith that drinks from the African wells and contributes to the full liberation of the oppressed people. Thus, the Zimbabwe Open University recognizes Father Ribeiro's passionate commitment to the liberation and recovery of the dignity of the people of Zimbabwe. His commitment to the nation and to nation building is unquestionable, and his creativity as the author of indigenous literature and as a musician. And this is why we have recommended for the award of the degree posthumously in honor of this giant, this liberator, Father Ribeiro. Thank you, Your Excellency and Chancellor. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I now call upon deans of faculties of agriculture, applied social sciences, arts, culture and heritage studies, commerce, science and technology to present to you graduates awarded the Doctor of Philosophy and Master of Philosophy degrees, masters and undergraduate graduates graduating with distinctions and first class who are here today, and those graduating virtually.
Congratulations. I have a message for you. God sent me to.
Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you the graduates in the Faculty of Agriculture, graduating with first classes who are here today, and those graduating virtually. Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Management, Mabandi Lackman, awarded the degree with a first class.
He has done it for you, and you will come back with a new song to sing. God is good.
Your Excellency and Chancellor, the following graduates, as listed in the graduation handbook, are graduating virtually in the Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Management. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to invite you to confer degrees and awards to graduates in the Faculty of Agriculture who are graduating virtually. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby confer the award of degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to those graduates as presented by the Dean.
Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God. Congratulations.
Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you Doctor of Philosophy graduates in the Faculty of Applied Social Sciences who are here today. Mapuranga Barbara, thesis title, Sexual and Reproductive Rights of Women with Disabilities in Zimbabwe. She has a visual impairment. Award, Doctor of Philosophy in Disability Studies. Chura Godfrey, thesis title, Digitization of Records and Archives in 2 selected state universities in Zimbabwe. Award, Doctor of Philosophy in Records and Archives Management. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you the Masters and undergraduate graduates in the Faculty of Applied Social Sciences, graduating with distinctions and first-class passes, who are here today, and those graduating virtually. Master of Science in Counseling, Mutsengi Agnes, Best Student with Book Prize, Health Professions Council Award, Free Registration with Allied Health Practitioners Council of Zimbabwe. Master of Science in Peace, Leadership and Conflict Resolution, Musaniwa Bravias, awarded degree with first class. Overall best male student, receiving the Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa Chancellor's Award of $1,000 US. He also receives RTGS 275,000 courtesy of Dream Death. Master of Science in Peace, Leadership and Conflict Resolution, Simba Albert, awarded the degree with a distinction. Master of Science in Special Education, Magaracha Silibaziso Ntombiozisi, Best Student with book Prize. Bachelor of Science Honors in Counseling, Ndebele Dumisani Vitalis, Best Student with Book Prize, Health Professions Council Award, Free Registration with Allied Health Practitioners Council of Zimbabwe. Postgraduate Diploma in Development Studies, Mure Gui Hepson Nyasha, Best Student with Book Prize. Your Excellency and Chancellor, the following graduates in the Faculty of Applied Social Sciences are graduating virtually in the following programs as listed in the graduation handbook. Master of Science in Counseling, Master of Science in Peace, Leadership and Conflict Resolution, Master of Science in Special Education, Master of Social Science in Development Studies, Bachelor of Science Honors in Counseling, Bachelor of Science Honors in Development Studies, Bachelor of Science Honors in Library and Information Science, Bachelor of Science Honors in Library and Information Technology, Bachelor of Science Honors in Psychology, Bachelor of Science Special Honors in Psychology, Bachelor of Science Honors in Records and Archives Management, Bachelor of Science Honors in Special Education, Bachelor of Science in Counseling, Diploma in Disability Studies, and Postgraduate Diploma in Development Studies. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to invite you to confer degrees and awards to graduates in the Faculty of Applied Social Sciences who are graduating virtually.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby confer the award of degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to those graduates as presented by the Dean.
Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you undergraduate graduates in the Faculty of Arts, Culture and Heritage Studies, graduating with first classes, who are here today, and those graduating virtually. Bachelor of Arts Honors in Ethics and Organizational Leadership, Mutsakanyi Fortunate, Best Student with Book Prize. Bachelor of Arts Special Honors in Literature in English, Hove Bernard, Best Student with Book Prize. Your Excellency and Chancellor, the following graduates in the Faculty of Arts, Culture and Heritage Studies are graduating virtually in the following programs as listed in the graduation handbook. Bachelor of Arts Honors in Ethics and Organizational Leadership, Bachelor of Arts Honors in Religious Studies and Theology, Bachelor of Arts in English and Communication Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Media Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Religious Studies and Theology, Bachelor of Arts in Religious Studies and Theology in collaboration with Dombosha Theological College, Bachelor of Arts Special Honors in Communication and Media Studies, and Bachelor of Arts Special Honors in Literature in English. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to invite you to confer degrees and awards to graduates in the Faculty of Arts, Culture and Heritage Studies who are graduating virtually.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby confer the award of degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to those graduates as presented by the Dean.
Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you the graduate for the award of Doctor of Philosophy, who is graduating virtually due to COVID-19 travel restrictions. Suela Gladys, thesis title, Determinants of Financial Inclusion among female flea market owners in selected suburbs of Harare, Zimbabwe. Award, Doctor of Philosophy in Business Management. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you the Masters and undergraduate graduates in the Faculty of Commerce, graduating with distinctions and first-class passes who are here today, and those graduating virtually. Master of Business Administration, Wabata Erasmus, Best Male Student with Book Prize, courtesy of Data Master.
Congratulations, he has done it for you. And you'll come back with a new song to sing. Your God is good.
Bachelor of Accounting Honors, Mpezeni Ngoni, awarded degree with first class, best student with book prize. Bachelor of Accounting Honors, Mahacha Tonderai, awarded degree with first class. Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Marketing Management, Sibanda Cordelia, awarded degree with first class, best student with book prize. RTGS 30,000, courtesy of Old Mutual. Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Marketing Management, Nyao Mishek, awarded degree with first class. Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Marketing Management, Sibanda Evelyn, awarded degree with first class. Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors, Ngwebu Tungamirai, awarded degree with first class, best student with book prize. Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors, Gonyora Memory, awarded degree with first class, overall best female student, receiving the Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa Chancellor's Award of US $1,000. In addition, she receives RTGS $275,000, courtesy of ZimDef. Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors, Churume Precious, awarded degree with first class. Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors, Chitsinde Evidence, awarded degree with first class. Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors, Madzorera Raphael, awarded degree with first class. Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors, Maramba Godfrey, awarded degree with first class. Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Special Honors, Munyaradzi Ruvimbo Winnet, awarded degree with first class, best student with book prize. Bachelor of Commerce in Banking and Finance Honors, Mashaire Tonderai, awarded degree with first class, best student with book prize. In addition, he receives RTGS 15,000, courtesy of POSB. Bachelor of Commerce in Banking and Finance Honors, Mugwagwa Kelvin, he receives 7,500, courtesy of POSB. Bachelor of Commerce in Banking and Finance Honors, Tsikwa Maria, awarded degree with first class. She receives 10,000 RTGS, courtesy of POSB. Bachelor of Commerce in Internal Auditing Honors, Kudangirana Fungai, awarded degree with first class, best student with book prize. Bachelor of Commerce, my apologies, Bachelor of Accounting Honors, Banda Doreen, graduate with disability, awarded graduation regalia courtesy of Gowns World. Your Excellency and Chancellor, the following graduates in the Faculty of Commerce are graduating virtually in the following programs as listed in the graduation handbook. Master of Business Administration, Bachelor of Accounting Honors, Bachelor of Banking and Finance Honors, Bachelor of Commerce Accounting, Bachelor of Commerce Banking and Finance, Bachelor of Commerce Finance, Bachelor of Commerce Marketing, Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Human Resources and Labor Relations Management, Bachelor of Commerce Honors in Marketing Management, Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Special Honors, Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting Honors, Bachelor of Commerce in Banking and Finance Honors, Bachelor of Commerce in Human Resources Management and Industrial Relations, Bachelor of Commerce in Internal Auditing Honors, Executive Diploma in Business Leadership. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to invite you to confer degrees and awards to graduates in the Faculty of Commerce who are graduating virtually.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby confer the award of degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to those graduates as presented by the Dean.
Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you the Doctor of Philosophy and Master of Philosophy graduates in the Faculty of Education who are here today.
Chachwayo Sophie. This is titled Inclusive Education in Zimbabwe's Teachers' Colleges, Current Practices, Challenges, and Strategies for Inclusivity. Awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Management.
I told you with Christ that you can never lose. Well, God, I beg you, give me your attention. Very, very soon you will
Kadzia Lysias. Title of thesis, Quality Assurance in STEM Education in Rural Day Secondary Schools in Mashonaland West Province. Awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Management.
need a new song to sing, your God is good, oh. You will come again with a new song of praise, God is good, oh. Congratulations.
Mafigu Enoch. Title of thesis, The Role of Rural Educational Leadership in Influencing Societal Behavior, a case of Goromonzi District. Awarded the Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership. Mawarire Crispin. Title of thesis, The Persistent Poor Performance in Ordinary Level Mathematics in the Glenview Mufakose District of Harare, Zimbabwe, a concurrent triangulation design. Awarded the Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics Education. Mufumira Makwara Isabel. Title of thesis, Teaching and Learning of Textiles in the Primary Schools Curriculum in Masingo District, Zimbabwe. Awarded the Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum Studies. Mutambanengwe Betty Kutukwa, to be awarded virtually. Title of thesis, Technical Vocational Education, Training and its Impact on Employment Creation Opportunities in Zimbabwe. Awarded the degree of Doctorate of Philosophy in Educational Planning. Magadzire Runyararo. Title of thesis, The Impact of Integrated Skills Outreach Programs as a Vehicle for Socio-Economic Inclusion in rural Manicaland Province of Zimbabwe. Awarded the Master of Philosophy in Vocational Training Education. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you the Masters and Undergraduate graduates in the Faculty of Education, graduating with distinctions and first-class passes, who are here today, and those graduating virtually. Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Ndengo Lisa, award the degree with first class, University Book Prize, and Chicken Slice Trophy. Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Gwashavanu Agnes, awarded the degree with first class. Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Munetsi Sharon, awarded the degree with first class. Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Komo Rosa Farai, awarded the degree with first class. Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Nzima Muchanyara, awarded the degree with first class.
Congratulations, he has done it for you, and you'll come back with a new
Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Sevele Ambitious, awarded the degree with first class. Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Tayongwa Beatrice, awarded the degree with first class. Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Sivanda Lynette, awarded the degree with first class, best student with book prize. Bachelor of Education in Educational Management, Wuruba Wellington, awarded the degree with first class and best student with book prize and chicken slice trophy.
God sent me to you. I have a message for you.
Bachelor of Education in Educational Management, Jambaya Victor, awarded the degree with first class.
Them tell you say you can never be the one. God say, make I tell you say now you him choose in 1 month.
Bachelor of Education Secondary,
You will say
Borerwe Cleopatra, best student with book prize.
congratulations, you're in the glory of God. Congratulations, he has done it for you.
Postgraduate Diploma in Education, Valela Mukomi, graduate with disability, awarded the graduation regalia courtesy of Gowns World. Your Excellency and Chancellor, the following graduates in the Faculty of Education are graduating virtually in the following programs as listed in the graduation handbook. Master of Education in Educational Management, Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Development, Bachelor of Education in Educational Administration, Planning and Policy Studies, Bachelor of Education in Educational Management, Bachelor of Education Secondary, Diploma in Education Primary, and Postgraduate Diploma in Education. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to invite you to confer degrees and awards to graduates in the Faculty of Education who are graduating virtually.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby confer the award of degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to those graduates as presented by the Dean.
Congratulations, you're in the glory of God. Congratulations.
Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you undergraduate graduates in the Faculty of Science, graduating with first-class passes who are here today, and those graduating virtually. Mugadza Denford, Bachelor of Science Honors in Geography and Environmental Studies, awarded a degree with first class, best student with book prize. Bachelor of Science Honors in Nursing Science, Moyo Sibonkusa, awarded degree with first class. Bachelor of Science Honors in Nursing Science, Zitambo Erina, awarded the degree with first class. Bachelor of Science Honors in Physical Education and Sport, Ndebele Prince, best student with book prize. Your Excellency and Chancellor, the following graduates in the Faculty of Science are graduating virtually in the following programs as listed in the graduation handbook. Bachelor of Science Honors in Geography and Environmental Studies, Bachelor of Science Honors in Nursing Science, Bachelor of Science Honors in Physical Education and Sport, Bachelor of Science Honors in Geography and Environmental Studies, Bachelor of Science Honors in Mathematics and Statistics, Bachelor of Science Honors in Physical Education. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to invite you to confer degrees and awards to graduates in the Faculty of Science who are graduating virtually.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby confer the award of degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to those graduates as presented by the Dean.
Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to present to you undergraduate graduates in the Faculty of Technology, graduating with first-class passes who are here today, and those graduating virtually. Taruberekera Mordecai, best student with book prize, Bachelor of Information Technology Honors. He is receiving 15,000 courtesy of pay now. Munganasa Tonderai, best project in the Faculty of Technology with book prize. Excellency and Chancellor, the following graduates in the Faculty of Technology are graduating virtually in the following programs as listed in the graduation handbook. Bachelor of Information Technology Honors, Bachelor of Software Engineering Honors. Your Excellency and Chancellor, with the authority of the University Council and Senate, I have the honor to invite you to confer degrees and awards to graduates in the Faculty of Technology who are graduating virtually.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby confer the award of degrees of the Zimbabwe Open University to those graduates as presented by the Dean.
Will all the graduates please rise to recite the alumni statement after me? I pledge to join the Zimbabwe Open University Alumni Association and act as a goodwill ambassador through a mutually beneficial partnership with the university. Thank you. You can take your seats.
Let's get a very warm welcome to you and thank you so much for joining us for today's live broadcast of the Zimbabwe Open University 19th graduation happening live here from the Harare International Conference Center. Now, I must say I'm also currently joined by the Corporate Communications and Marketing Manager for the Zimbabwe Open University, Mr. Mwandiwanza. Thank you so much for taking time once again to come back and to join us. Now, of course, the ceremony has taken place. The graduates have been accorded. Give us an appreciation.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. This has been a very, very great event indeed, as you can see. Right, all these people that have been kept here, 87 who received awards, 46 of them being male and 41 of them being female. That's quite great. And all in all, as we witnessed here, 1,367 who graduated today.
Right. Now, of course, acknowledging the 1,000 odd graduates who have managed to come in here, the virtual interaction has also been very important. How significant?
Congratulations. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby declare this ceremony for the conferment of degrees and other academic distinctions of the Zimbabwe Open University closed.
God is good. Them say that I can never be all that I see.
Sit up on the rhythm like a king on a throne. And I put you alongside the day. So are we together in a celebration?
I have a message for you.
Now, of course, with the national anthem having brought today's celebrations, or should I say graduation process to the end, I'm back, of course, speaking to Mr. Mwandiwanza. I will be able to give us once again an appreciation of why today is so significant, the 19th celebration that is currently taking place in line with the Zimbabwe Open University.
Thank you very much, Farai. Today is actually a great day for our graduates. You know the difference between graduates and graduates. So right now, as we mark the end of this session, we now have got graduates who have made it today through and through studying through COVID hardships and life. As you can see, all these challenges, the new normal and so on, all these people managed to make it through. So today marks their great day because they made it even under difficult circumstances.
Now, Mr. Mondwanza, you also managed to also add that you extended the engagement through the virtual interaction as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Give us an appreciation of how significant that is in involving all the graduates to be part of the process.
Yes, you see, Farai, through our My Vista platform, which engages our students to interact digitally with their tutors and so on and so forth. So you had that main speech there where we received about 26 million from the government in order to boost our digitalization at Zimbabwe Open University. So it's very significant in that throughout all our regional campuses, as we speak right now, people are celebrating here at Harare International Conference Center. They are also celebrating across all our regional campuses, Manicaland, Masvingo, Mashonaland West, Mashonaland Central, and you name it, because we are present in all these 10 provinces of Zimbabwe.
Now, Vamwandiwans are also acknowledging some of the remarks that were shared earlier on with regards to the number of women graduates at the Zimbabwe Open University. Give us a bit of an appreciation in terms of how you've managed to be able to successfully meet a high quota of women graduates.
Exactly. You see, Farai, at Zimbabwe Open University, we've got highly qualified staff who are able to deliver their stuff to our students. So we've actually encouraged the girl child to undertake these studies with Zimbabwe Open University. And you heard about the Angel of Hope Foundation trying to empower the girl child, those women, for example, in Epworth who just graduated sometime last week with various qualifications to enable them to equip themselves with life skills. So we have tried to empower the girl child in many ways, Farai.
Right. Now, of course, once again, also reiterating at this particular period, having come to the end of COVID-19, we will be getting into an academic year as we go into next year. How well has the university made sure that it is capacitated enough to recruit not only new members for the various academic prospects, but at the same time managing the circumstances on the campuses?
Exactly. Yeah, thank you very much, Farai. You know, as Zimbabwe Open University, we've got different faculties in place. We've got the Faculty of Arts, Culture and Heritage Studies, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Technology, Faculty of Science, and we are also working towards establishing a Faculty of Law. So in order to counter the effects of COVID-19, we have invested heavily technologically so that we're able to reach our students. We have also ensured through our website that information about the programs that are offered by Zimbabwe Open University reaches our potential market countrywide as well as international.
Right. Yeah. Now, of course, the Open University approach kind of goes so far as to encourage adult education.
Exactly.
Now, at this particular period in time, we find that kudzidza hakuperi. So how then do we also be able to share with those who may be viewing us, who may also want to take on prospects of adult education or furthering their education, to do so through the Zimbabwe Open University?
Yes, thank you, Farai. This is the information that we are giving, as you heard from the Vice Chancellor's speech there. We have got quite a number of programs that are in line with what we call 5.0 education programs that have got to do with community development, programs that have got to do with innovation and modernization as well as industrialization. The idea, Farai, is to ensure that when our students acquire these qualifications, they are able to transform education into tangible goods and services.
Now, Mr. Mondwanza, unfortunately, that's all the time that we do. But thank you once again. We also do look forward to speaking to you again in future and hopefully next year at the next graduation.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Farai.
Thank you very much. Well, that's all the time that we did have here at the Harare International Conference Center for the Zimbabwe Open University. Graduation ceremony currently taking place right here. On behalf of myself and the rest of the current affairs team, have a pleasant viewing.
answer that, tell me why. Just tell me now, cause I'm ready to know. Baby, I try. Chinga, I try. Baby, I try. Oh, baby, I try. Diden nikudeo. Dipen dikupeo. Diden nikudeo. Dipen dikupeo.
And my focus circling round you. Baby, I am so broken to see all I do for you. Please take a moment, cause I'm falling for you. Baby, to tell you the truth, I'd love to love you and never look back. Whoa, baby, I'm fighting with you, cause I am fighting for us. I'd love to love you and never look back. Whoa.
Now you're using my toothbrush. You say you think I talk too much, that I'm not your type and you don't like the hype, cause your daddy is a preacher. Now you're wearing my t-shirt, and I don't want this night to end before you know I love you. I don't want this night to end before you know I need you. Na muda usini